guys, I'm Noel Salas. Welcome to Surf Show and Tell. Today's surfboard review, the Pod Mod by Channel Islands. I've got two stock boards here. I've got a 5.2. It's 19 7/8 by 2 5/16 liters of volume, 26.5. I've also got the 5.4, and the 5.4 is 20 1/8 by 2 3/8 liters of volume, 28.5. 2 liters difference between the two, 2 inches in length different. I would think that I would originally choose the 5.4 and stay with it. It did feel good. I rode it in all types of different sizes of surf. I even rode it in choppy surf and it felt fine. But it was a little buoyant for me, so I thought, you know what, maybe I should try the 5.2, and boy am I glad I did. I want to talk about that for a minute. On the 5.2, it's short. It's 7 inches shorter than I am, which is the shortest board I've ever ridden. But because of the wide nose, the hybrid nose, and the wide point front from center, it had tons of paddle power for me. Just in the outline itself and the way they put the foam in, it felt great. And I'm also surfing lower trestles, so it gets really crowded there, and I had no problem catching waves. And that's the most important thing when you ride a small wave board or a groveler, is that you can catch waves and generate your own speed. Let's get into the contours and what makes this board so fast. Okay, so we've got a single concave to a double concave to a V out the back, out the tail, and it's very similar to the contours of the Mini. I think the Mini had a more aggressive concave, but this board went rail to rail just fine. I mean, it was really fast. You guys can tell from the video. I felt like I could surf this board and make any section I wanted to because of the rocker and the concaves. Now, it's got a very mild rocker in the front, but it's got a good amount of tail rocker, which when you put a tail rocker and you pull in the tail like the Pod Mod has, you're going to get the ability to do quick, sharp turns. You're going to be able to, and because of the rocker, you're going to be able to sit in the pocket and do turns. So I would say that at times, it felt like a high-performance small wave board for me. And that's one of the most important things for me because I'm a pocket surfer. I'm not the kind of guy that flies down the line and does a lot of airs. Although I'd like to do more airs, that's not how I surf on a regular basis. So the 5.2, between the 5.2 and the 5.4, I chose the 5.2 because the 5.2, it became my favorite board of all time so far in small waves. Now, I also rode the 5.2 in choppy surf. I wanted to see what the board would feel like if I surfed lowers on a south wind. And what happens is when you're surfing in choppy surf and there's a bump in there, if you put the board on its rail on a bottom turn, that chop will try and disengage the rail and make you slide out. You'll see in the video in the right that I'm driving through turns and the board is sticking and it feels really good through every turn, and I'm generating speed the whole time. So it worked good in choppy surf. I rode it in small glassy surf. It was like shoulder high and down, and I also rode it in like a foot overhead, and I actually got some barrels on it, believe it or not. And because it's so short, on when I came off the bottom, I could come up to the top and do like a little quick turn and then grab my rail and pull in. That's what you get when you ride something that's short and super maneuverable. If I was riding a longer board, that probably would not have happened as good as it did. And the board's so fast that it drove through the barrel fine and came out and I was able to finish it. So there's so many benefits to being on a shorter board with more volume. So I highly recommend that you consider riding the Pod Mod to your abilities to surf and your weight, but don't be afraid to go a little bit smaller like I did, okay? But let's talk about one other thing real quick. The Channel Islands website recommends this board as a thruster. I rode both boards as thrusters. I used the same fins. I used the FRP by Channel Islands. I used the size large. If you remember correctly, if you watched the last review on the Mini, it's fiberglass reinforced polymers. That's what FRP stands for. And what they've done is they've taken, a plastic fin that had lots of flex for guys, especially guys that are heavy, or if you're an intermediate surfer to an advanced surfer, you would not ride a plastic fin, but they put fiberglass inside it, inside the fibers, so that way it would stiffen up the flex pattern and keep the fin affordable. So I think Channel Islands did a great job with that. Throughout the whole time I'm surfing, I'm riding the large FRP fins in both boards. So that's my review, guys. I hope you liked the surfing. The waves were incredible for this particular board, and the board felt great. The 5.2 will stay in the quiver, and it goes down in my book as a board that's legit pocket surfing, and it flies down the line. You can use it for airs. I highly recommend getting one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks. Take care.
Decided to knock on my door. Did you remember what happened before? It just didn't sparkle, it just didn't grow. Some things look better